How can you survive the pressure of PhD studies in a foreign country without losing your mind? The reality is that thousands of international PhD students experience long laboratory hours, silent expectations, cultural differences, and financial stress. And moments when you wonder whether you made the biggest mistake of your life going to that country to study your PhD or your postgraduate studies. And some actually quit before they even finish their studies. Yet every year, students from around the world, they successfully complete their PhDs. So what separates those who survive from those who don't? Today I want to share with you real strategies from my own experience as a PhD student in Japan that can help you survive and thrive in your PhD or your postgraduate studies in any foreign country. Before we continue, here's a surprising fact. Many PhD students don't fail because they are not smart enough. They fail because they burn out. Lesson number 1, your supervisor can make or break your PhD. The biggest factor in your PhD isn't your IQ or how smart you are. It's your relationship with your supervisor. Many students, they arrive in that foreign country, or Japan for me in my case, they arrive there believing that professors will guide them in every step of the way. But sometimes that's not true. Sometimes it can be true. In my case, Japanese academic culture often values independence. So your professor may expect you to solve problems even before asking questions. They may not constantly check on your progress, but for some they do, like where I am, every week they check. And if they don't, at first that may feel like neglect, but often it's their way of encouraging growth. So the students who survive learn to communicate early. They schedule meetings, they provide updates to their supervisors, they ask specific questions instead of saying, I'm stuck. And a good supervisor can open doors if you go and ask those questions. But a poor relationship can make every day feel like climbing Mount Fuji carrying a refrigerator. You feel very stuck. Lesson number 2, do not isolate yourself. So this is the mistake that destroys many international PhDs or students. They spend all their day researching in the laboratory, and then they return home, they eat, they sleep, and then they repeat the same cycle again. And before long, loneliness starts affecting their motivation. Japan in particular can be an incredibly welcoming country, but friendships often take time. So you must actively create opportunities, like join in student associations, attend university events, participate in language exchanges, go out, with your lab mates, or even get that one trusted friend that can help you to dramatically improve your mental well-being in that foreign country. It could be also your lab mate who you are studying with, so just don't be alone, don't isolate yourself. And remember, a PhD is not a prison sentence. It's a chapter of your life. Do not die during your PhD or lose your mental health, lose your mind. But now, what if your biggest problem isn't loneliness? What if maybe it's finances? So that brings us to lesson number 3, learn financial survival. So many students underestimate living costs in their foreign countries or in Japan. Even funded students, they can end up struggling because you find there might be unexpected expenses that appear constantly, or maybe you travel somewhere in a conference, or maybe apartment costs, health insurance, daily necessities. So the smartest PhD students, they create a simple monthly budget from day one. Then you track your spending, you avoid unnecessary debts or borrowing here and there, and you end up saving small, and you also save small amounts regularly just for emergencies, because financial stress can demoralize you and destroy your academic performance. So peace of mind is a powerful research tool. And lesson number 4, learn enough Japanese to survive, or learn the language of that foreign country that you're in just to survive around. So even if your entire research program is conducted in English, Japanese, or the language of where you are, matters a lot, because you don't need perfect grammar, you don't need to sound like you're a native. But learning the basic language or Japanese transforms your experience. You can learn simple conversations so that your life becomes easier. Hospital visits become less stressful, shopping becomes a little bit enjoyable, networking also becomes more natural, and most importantly, people appreciate your effort of learning their language a little bit. So you end up interacting more. And a few phrases can open doors, that remain closed to those who never try to learn the language of that country. So think of learning the language as a survival skill. Now, this lesson number 5, let's talk about it because it's a silent killer of PhD dreams, managing your mental health. So many students, they arrive in Japan or the country you are in or a foreign country, believing that they must always appear strong. And that is very dangerous because research is full of failure. Experiments, they fail sometimes and papers get rejected, your manuscript. Grants may be a bit low, data may become unusable or unreliable, and sometimes months of work can produce nothing. And that's normal. The students who survive understand that failure is part of the research journey. So they take rests when necessary, they take some small vacations if your finances allow, they exercise a little bit, they seek support when they are overwhelmed from friends. And your value as a person is bigger than your publication count. Remember that. And that's why, and a healthy researcher is usually a more productive researcher. Now, let's go to lesson number 6. Treat your PhD like a marathon. Many students begin their PhD like sprinters. They work 14 hours a day, they skip the weekends, they sacrifice their sleep, and for a few months, it seems impressive even to the supervisors. But then, after a while, the exhaustion arrives. But the students who finish successfully, they understand pacing. You have to create a routine. You have to maintain healthy habits, and you have to focus on consistency instead of trying to be a hero to show that you can do a lot of research, sleep in the laboratory. Man, you're gonna burn out so easily. Because writing 1 page every day, that is more important than writing 30 pages because you're panicking. And also improving a little every week, that beats burning out every semester. So your goal isn't to survive 1 month. Your goal is to survive for the 3 or 5 years that you're doing your postgraduate studies or your PhD. Lesson number 7. Build a life outside the lab. So Japan offers incredible experiences. I do not know about the country that you're in, but anyway, try to build a life outside the lab. So for Japan, there are cherry blossoms, especially during spring. There are festivals that are held once in a while. You can travel to mountains, you can try hot springs or onsen, you can go to historic temples, you can go to beautiful countrysides, you can enjoy amazing food like ramen, butadon, and etc. You can enjoy a lot of things. Try to enjoy in the country that you're in. So don't spend your entire PhD staring at laboratory equipment and your research alone. Try to explore a little bit, travel, try to create memories with your friends or people you meet in that country, because one day you'll submit your thesis, you'll defend your research, and you will graduate. You're going to graduate one day. And when you look back, you will not remember the experiments alone. You will also remember the life that you built along the way. So I hope you don't regret the memories that you didn't build. Okay? Try and build some memories. So, surviving a PhD in Japan or any foreign country that you're in is not about being the smartest student. No. It's about adaptability. It's about resilience. It's about learning when to push forward and when to take a rest. It's necessary sometimes. And some days you'll feel unstoppable, definitely. And some other days you'll feel like you're questioning everything. Is this necessary? Am I really, I'm gonna die here, with all this pressure, I'm gonna lose my mind. And that's normal, you know. So every published researcher has faced setbacks, and every graduate has doubted themselves at one point or another. But every successful PhD is simply a collection of small victories repeated over time. So if you're starting a PhD in Japan or a foreign country, or you're already struggling through one, remember this: you don't need to be perfect. You only need to keep moving forward. One experiment, one page, one day at a time. So let me know in the comment section, have you studied or worked or completed a PhD in Japan or any other foreign country before? You could share your experience in the comments, because who knows, your advice might help someone who is struggling right now in another country. So thank you for watching and consider subscribing. Ja, matane.